In programming languages, function overloading or method overloading is the ability to create multiple functions of the same name with different implementations. Calls to an overloaded function will run a specific implementation of that function appropriate to the context of the call. So allowing one function call will perform a different task depending on the context. So if we were to have two calls to the same method, or not to the same method, but to do two different methods with the same names, as long as we pass in different parameters, it'll be okay. And this works for static methods also. So inside of here, we are just going to do, or we'll just do sysout, and because we're in Eclipse. And then inside of here, we're going to call a method. So let's just call cat, and then we're going to pass in m. And so what we're going to do is we're going to hover over this. We're going to create the method right here. It's a private. It's static. It's going to return it's not going to return a character. What we're going to want to do is we are going to return a string. And then it's cats, and then we're of type string. And in fact, we could technically change this to char because it is a character. So we'll just do char character. And so this is our method. We are going to want to return just a simple string. We're going to return the string meow, and that's what m stands for. So if we were to run this, meow would come out. Now, what if we wanted to print the age of a cat? Well, we do system dot, or we'll sysout. I keep forgetting we're in Eclipse. Done so many practice hits, but sysout dot println, and we're gonna do cat again. Now, what we're going to do instead of passing in a character, we're going to pass in a number value. So let's say the cat is 3 years old. So we're going to pass this in. What we can do is add cast arguments to make it a character. We can change the method, or we can create a method. And I'm not going to click this. I'm going to actually type it out. So inside of here, it's going to be private, static. And the reason why it's static, well, there's another video on that, but basically it's just because that we're calling it and not making an instance of it. And then we're going to return we'll return an integer. So it'll be return int. And actually we could return the same thing as well. So let's just demonstrate that. We could return string, we could return whatever we want, called cat. But inside of here, we're passed in a integer. So we're going to do int, and we'll just call it n. And so this is going to be our function. Now this error is because we don't have a return statement. So what we are going to return is the age, which is 3, but we're going to return it as a string. I'm not sure if it's going to do that. We might have to, what we're going to have to do, we can change this integer into a string. We'll do string, we'll call this int integer, and we'll set this equal to integer dot, and there's a video about using this too, but parse int, or actually that's the wrong one. So you do integer dot to string. So this method is going to pass in an integer, which is our n here, and then we're just going to print it out. In fact, we don't actually have to store this. We could just paste this in here. This is not needed. And so if we were to return this, we would return 3. So we see that we use the same exact name, same exact return type. It's a static. This works with without statics. If we were to make a instance of our class, if we were to make an instance of a class and use a function in here, but it works just like that, and that is overloading.